Warning, the podcast you're about to hear has a unique conservative perspective and may be politically incorrect, containing some controversy in its message. This episode may speak out against liberalism, socialism, the dark state, and religious organizations. It is possible that evil in politics, education, law, society, and religion will be discussed and exposed. However, we believe this podcast adds truth and value to a mature, disenfranchised audience who may be tired of apostate religions and wicked world systems. Listeners who are easily offended, overly sensitive, or have progressive leanings sympathetic to the topics we expose should be forewarned not to listen any further. We thank both those who choose to listen as well as those who choose not to listen. You've been warned. And now, let us get on with the show.
Hello, welcome to Freedom Friday.
Hello, this is Ms. KAPOW, and today is January 20th, 2017, President Trump's Inauguration Day.
Happy Inauguration Day. Happy American Inauguration Day. And not only is a new president being inaugurated, Ms. KAPOW, the whole world is being inaugurated into this time of deceptive, crazy, insane darkness, man.
Yep.
It's been building up and building up. I mean, you don't wake up one day and, we're off the rails. It hasn't been that slow of a process either. I would say, even before Obozo got in office, it was building up to this. But the last 8 years certainly, went off the rails.
That's right.
Here in America, wow. Doesn't even look like the same country.
No, it certainly
doesn't look like the same country I grew up in. Amazing. So we really are being inaugurated into a whole different age. This is incredible. It's incredibly exciting from our seats because we get to sit here, look at all the stupidity and make fun of it. I just love it. It gives me so much fodder. Yep. So, and I get to do this show where I get to spread my toxic male masculinity everywhere around and scratch my beard. It's wonderful.
Oh, you get to actually be a male.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A man.
Yeah, and I have a furrow. I'm like frowning all the time. I got this lion thing across my thing. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So, we're going to talk about several things here. We're going to talk about this guy.
This guy.
He's a man.
Yes.
Bradley Manning. He's the one in 2010 who apparently betrayed America.
Yep.
And gave a bunch of secrets away.
That's right.
Gave the Obama administration a hard time and everything. Well, now Bradley, as you all know, he wants to be called Chelsea.
Right.
He likes dressing like a girl. He puts on this blonde-haired wig and he puts makeup on. What a freakazoid. Anyway, he's one of Obama's butt buddies now.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that. And then one of my favorite topics, safe spaces for toxic masculinity. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. And as we talk about this, you're going to think about me and how good I would be in one of those courses. In fact, they probably have a picture of me up there.
Yeah.
In fact, if they could find this podcast, they can actually play it in class and go, this is what...
See how they are?
Yeah, this is what you don't want to be. And then we're going to talk about Trump. Because as you're listening, this is Inauguration Day. So by the time he's sworn in, he'll be president, not president-elect. But there's some people out there, some crying experts.
Can you imagine being a crying expert? Hello.
And one is a professor.
Yeah, well.
A crying professor. What's your degree in crying?
Oh, I've studied crying.
I've got
a master's degree, a doctor's degree.
I got a doctor's degree in crying. My husband has a degree in farting. He's a fart expert. And see, that would be a good course to take. How to fart effectively in a business meeting. Where you don't offend somebody, but yet you don't get stomach cramps. It's
all like direction.
It's an art. Yeah. It is direction. So anyway, how Trump, these crying experts are going to talk about how Trump needs to cry. This is amazing.
Oh, it's retarded.
And then some dude from Cuckoo-fornia. I know. What a shock.
I know.
What a shock. Wanted to become a piece of human fat on the sidewalk as he set himself on fire. Of course, if he was serious, I think he just would have...
he would have been a pork rind.
Yeah, he would have been a pork rind already. Anyway, and then we're going to do a Can't Fix Stupid. We'll talk about the Tesla car.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it's stupid, but some of these people that... all right. So before we get into that, I think you have a word from truth, right?
Yep. I'm going to read Psalm 10. I'm not going to read all of it, but the majority of it. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let him be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire and blesses the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God, and God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sits in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lies in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lies in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws them into his net. He crouches and humbles himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He has said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, and seek out his wickedness till thou find none."
There's going to come a day of judgment to all of these, I can't even call them humans anymore, but these once humans who willingly became demonic hosts. They willingly turned over their bodies, their minds, and their souls to demons, demonic forces.
Yep.
And these are the ones lying in wait, like the scripture says, like lions. And they prey on the poor. You know what I mean? It's you and I, we all know it's not poor, financially poor and everything. It's you're mentally poor, you're spiritually poor, you're stupid. They prey on those people. You're ignorant, you have no discernment, no wisdom. That's the lion roaring. It's like Satan goes by as a roaring lion, seeking who he could what? Devour to eat. And there's going to be a day of judgment. There is. There is. As soon as a human dies, it's over. The bells ring. There's no purgatory. There's no getting out. It's over.
Yep.
And there's going to be a
day of reckoning.
A day of reckoning. And that, wow, what a horrible day that's going to be.
Yeah.
Horrible day, because the years here on earth are really short compared to an eternity. Man, I pity the fool. Like Mr. T used to say, I pity the fool.
I pity the fool.
But we shouldn't quote Mr. T because he was very macho, very masculine. He had that Mandarin, African Mandarin hair, all the gold chains. He had a lot of muscles.
Yep.
He said, I pity the fool.
Scowl.
Yeah.
He had that scowl.
Exactly. So we don't want to talk. We want to be sensitive and talk with a lisp.
Yes. And cry.
Okay. New York Times, which is fake news. Chelsea Manning to be released early as Obozo commutes sentence. But its name isn't Chelsea.
It's Bradley.
It's the same dude. You should... The picture, they always show the same picture of this freak. And it looks like he's in a car or something like that. It's a selfie. And he has this blonde wig on with lipstick and makeup. And, you know, when you see a man dressed like a woman... It's
creepy.
It's really creepy. Yeah, it's kind of like a creepy
It really
clown.
is creepy.
Yeah, it ain't right. So this article from the rag there says Obama last Tuesday commuted all but 4 months of the remaining prison sentence of Chelsea Manning, Bradley Manning, who was the Army intelligence analyst convicted in 2010, if you all remember, for leaking and revealing American military and diplomatic activities across the world.
Oh, that's been such a long time ago, and yet it seems like yesterday, really.
Really, yeah. But yeah, it was already in 2010. And this leak disrupted Obozo's administration, brought global prominence to WikiLeaks, who was the recipient of those disclosures. You remember that? So, here's the deal. What's the difference between this dude and Snowden? Well, they say that this dude was caught and has been, serving time.
And went through the whole
the process. Okay. So, my question on this...
Here we go.
Is if this freak wasn't a transgender, he, she, cross-dressing queer dude, would that other freak commute his sentence?
Possibly not.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I think there's an agenda behind all of this. Mm-hmm. And since he's been in office, he's just shoved this stuff or assisted in shoving this stuff down our throats. And here it is once again, this transgenderism shoved down your throat.
He's done nothing but agitate.
Yeah, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the other, 200, 300 crooks he's already commuted.
Oh.
The decision by Obozo rescued, I love this article. They call it Ms. Manning.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? It's a dude dressed like a girl.
Yep.
You see what I mean? The agenda, and it's as long as they keep doing this stuff, the stupid ones out there go,
Yeah.
no, it's a female. It's not a female.
No,
it's a
not.
dude.
Uh-huh.
He tried to kill himself twice last year.
Right.
And anyway, Obama rescued this freak from an uncertain future as a transgender woman. Or you mean a guy dressed like a woman, incarcerated at the men's military prison.
Where he would belong.
Exactly, because he's a dude. And it's been jailed for nearly 7 years. And it had 35-year sentence. A 35-year sentence. And it was by far the longest punishment ever imposed in the United States for a leak conviction. Well, he's just...
Yeah, he put our country
treason.
in danger. Yeah.
So anyway,
he's lucky he didn't get executed.
Yeah, Genghis Khan would have done it, but he's got a masculine.
Yeah,
Genghis Khan was kind of a bad dude,
and that's why.
Yeah, you can't have no Genghis.
Yeah.
At the same time, Mr. Obozo, I don't know why they keep calling him that. New York Times, I thought they liked him, but anyway, they call him Mr. Obozo. Commuted the sentence of Manning, a low-ranking enlisted soldier. He also pardoned James E. Cartwright, who was a retired Marine general and former vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who pleaded guilty to lying about the conversations with reporters to FBI agents investigating a leak of classified information about cyber attacks on Iran's nuclear program. Mm-hmm. So he's just letting everybody go. Remarkable, they say, that these two clemency acts were done. And guess who else he pardoned here last Tuesday? He pardoned
Oscar Lopez Rivera. He was part of the Puerto Rican nationalist group that did a string of bombings in the late 70s and 80s.
Isn't that terrorism? Mm-hmm. I like that. He was part of a Puerto Rican nationalist group. What a way to sell it. He's a terrorist.
Yeah, Durst.
70s and 80s bombings. Let's release this guy.
Yeah.
The other members of that group had long since been freed. Mm-hmm. Obozo also granted 63 other pardons and 207 other commutations.
But mostly for drug offenders.
Just drug offenders, because you can't get enough drug offenders in society.
Yeah. You
just can't get enough of them. Mm-hmm. You love them. You love these guys.
Well, they've legalized most drugs, so.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, someone's got to sell them. Someone's got to know what they're doing. So anyway, I'm highly suspicious of this. Now, Paul Ryan, who I don't have a lot of respect for either,
No.
He called it outrageous. He said, Obozo now leaves in place a dangerous precedent that those who compromise our national security won't be held accountable for their crimes, blah, 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 blah. Right? So it goes on and on and on. But anyway, I think the point of the story, what makes me suspicious, is I think there's an agenda behind all of this.
Definitely.
And I think if Bradley wasn't dressing like a girl, he probably wouldn't have got the favor. Mm-hmm. But now this, he does a favor to his...
Isn't that the way it usually is, though?
Yeah, his queer friends or whatever. Mm-hmm. Crazy. All right, next. Schools offer safe spaces to combat toxic masculinity.
That there would even be a term like that.
Yeah.
Toxic
masculinity. Could you imagine?
Right?
Yeah.
But see, it's been a long time coming. I mean, since feminism, and then now these stupid programs and movies, they're all about demasculating the man.
The weak dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really disgusting.
It is. It really is. There's universities across the country are committing to fight. They're committing to fight toxic masculinity. Of all the problems we have in our society, this is the one they choose to focus on.
And isn't that funny that Trump kind of represents this toxic masculinity?
Exactly. This is exactly the whole thing they want to do. And they've put all his deplorable supporters into that basket also.
Exactly.
That masculine, crazy, everybody's just some crazy dude with a, Confederate flag on their truck, rolling down some street in Alabama, I guess. I don't know. But this year they have these universities have conferences and events, and they're exploring the allegedly violent tendencies inherent to manhood.
Wow.
And just reading that, I just want to punch him in the face. I'm not violent. I'm going to punch you right in the face. Ithaca College is hosting a workshop on masculinity and violence as part of its MLK Day festivities. Now, I think that's interesting because I don't have it right here in front of me, but over the MLK weekend, last weekend, there
very
was
violent.
like 26 murders in Chicago. Yeah. All the thugs, all these ghetto rats, right? Instead of celebrating the pacifist Martin Luther King, who fought very hard for their civil rights, well, they decided not to be pacifist and don't give a rat's butt about their civil rights, and they went on killing each other.
Yeah.
Something like 26 people died over the weekend, and many more shot.
They really are their worst enemy.
It's horrible. I bet you if you asked any one of them, what are you guys doing for MLK weekend? And they're like, what are you talking about? Give me your wallet. You know what I mean? A bunch of thugs. It's amazing. So apparently they didn't get the memo that Ithaca College was hosting this workshop, or they all would have went. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Duke University, we talked about these libtards over and over again. Duke University, oh my gosh. They are hosting a 9-week discussion series to explore how masculinity exists on our campus, often in toxic ways. Mm-hmm. Now, this would be a good time if you need lunch money or you need a little extra cash to go on campus and just slap some dude in the face and take his money. Just take his wallet.
I know.
Because he can't fight you back because that would be violent.
Exactly.
And then you could do it as a male or a female because, well, you don't go to these courses. Mm-hmm. You're not liberated.
Stupid.
That's crazy. So Oregon State University, for instance, students are invited to attend a healthy masculinities conference. A healthy masculinity, where they will engage in collective imagining to construct new futures for masculinities, unrestricted by power, privilege, and oppression. Oh,
what?
My God. Yeah. They're going to make stuff up. They're going to engage in a collective imagining.
Yeah.
They're going to imagine what the perfect male will look like in the future. Here's the future
like
male.
Chelsea Manning.
Exactly. He's going to be unrestricted by power, privilege, or oppression. So he's just going to be like a dog. Mm. I don't know. What is that? A snail? What? So if he doesn't have the power, privilege, and oppression, who does?
He won't have any spine.
No, that sounds like some of the police captains I used to work for. Because that's true. You had to have you got your spine removed.
Lobotomy.
Yeah, you had a lobotomy when you make chief, but when you're a captain, you get your spine removed. Let's see. For other conferences listed, let's see. There's other intended learning outcomes such as examining the histories and legacies of Eurocentric masculinities and understanding how they influence and continue to shape modern global masculinities.
Wow.
This sounds interesting. Quote, here's what they say. Join us in a collective examination of the histories and legacies that shape present-day masculinities. Oh, my gosh. And it's free of charge.
Of course it is.
Okay, Ithaca College, Ithaca, will host a workshop on masculinity and violence during the MLK Week celebrations. Well, that didn't do real well there in Chicago.
Didn't.
Students examined hegemonic masculinity and its role as the wheel that rotates a cycle of violence.
It's cyclic.
I just want to stab these people in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's being toxic. Shh. While empowering willing individuals, here's this poor schmuck, to begin to recognize, acknowledge, own, and disrupt the toxicity of manhood in order to end violence.
See, and there's another quote here that says, anger is the only emotion that men have been socialized to express.
And they want you to tweet that, by the way. This article's Campus Reform. It's a good article, but the colleges want you to tweet that deal, so it becomes true.
Yeah,
right. There's no facts. There's nothing. There's nothing here
it's
to
all
support
imagination,
anything.
Though,
yeah,
is what they're saying.
There's nothing here to support anything. Let's see. Let's go on. Duke University has a thing called Men's Project. It's looking for applicants. Oh, pick me. For a 9-week-long discussion group. 9 weeks, that's
9
nothing.
weeks,
I can do that on my head. I got nothing else to do. And it's going to examine the ways we present or don't present our masculinities. Dang it. So we can better understand how masculinity exists on our campus.
I bet you get a shock collar.
I bet you. There you go. And as soon as I start scratching my beard,
Yeah.
as soon as I start talking stupid, or hold the door open for a young lady or something.
Mm-hmm.
What are you? You powerful? You more privileged because you got arms? Huh? You think you're better than me because you got arms? It says they're going to understand how masculinity exists on Duke campus, often in toxic ways. And they're going to begin the work of unlearning violence.
There's your collar.
Yeah.
Collar.
As soon as I go, I'm just going to slap you right in the wig. I'm going to...
Anger.
Yeah, I'm like a Rottweiler. Needs to be trained. First you get its testicles cut off, and you put a shock collar on it, dock its tail, and hey, you got a good dog, right?
It says we want to explore, dissect, and construct an intersectional understanding of masculinity and maleness, as well as to create destabilized spaces for those with privilege.
Amen.
Duke is an environment where some are rarely made uncomfortable while others are made to bear the weight of their identities on a daily basis, and we aim to flip that paradigm.
Have you noticed they just use words for the sake of using words?
Yeah, because it sounds smart, but it doesn't. If you really try to understand what they're saying, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Construct an intersectional understanding.
Like what? Can you draw me a picture?
Okay, other schools, as the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and Brown University, have long established centers for men to confront their masculinity. So you're just like walking down the street and you go, you know what? I need to go to the masculine center because I need to confront myself.
Oh, for the love of pizza.
Yeah, because I caught myself standing up peeing, and I got to go in there. Yeah. Brown University has a Be Well Center. Be Well. And it hosts weekly Masculinity 101 workshops for students who identify as men.
Wow.
For students who identify as men. So the key
it's
here...
a bad thing.
It's very bad. It's very bad. The key here is not to identify as a man. So I can have a beard and I can be toxic.
Oh, yeah. You'll be like that Chi-Chi or Chaka or whatever her name is.
Chi-Chi or Chaka?
Remember that one that sang with the beard and mustache? What was her name?
Conchita.
Conchita, yeah.
Conchita banana.
Like
what's Conchita
right.
worst? Conchita sausage.
Yes. How could I forget that sausage? Okay.
Well, so you can do that and you can be obnoxious, all this stuff. And then when they go, you need to go to the B Center, you say, dude, I'm not a man.
Yeah.
I'm a Rottweiler. I identify as a Rottie. Rawr. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what? Now you don't like dogs? Who doesn't like dogs? Come on. Now here's a good quote, because I don't know if this is true, but this is a quote. It says, quote, "Men will often resort to violence to resolve conflict because anger is the only," that's what it says, "the only emotion that they have been socialized to express." Mm-hmm. Really? I think I've had other emotions besides just anger.
Yeah.
Like right now I have an emotion of you're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that an emotion? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So this is a description for the school's unlearning toxic masculinity. It says, "Be Well is investing in creating safe spaces for men to unpack all of the things they have learned about masculinity and what it means to be a man. The goal is to help those socialized as men to unlearn some of the notions that have led to such profound harm being enacted towards others and towards themselves."
Wow.
End of quote.
Really?
Hello, am I? Yeah, are we the only ones that see this is nuts?
Yeah, but
You know, here what's sad, though, you do have some young people out there that have a penis for some reason, whether they identify with it or not. They have a penis that are subject to this nonsense. Or guys.
But it's so hypocritical because women can just be just as violent and angry.
Now you're confusing a good story with facts. Why do you let facts get in the way of a good agenda?
I'm sorry.
You do that all the time.
I know, I'm sorry. But right?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, that's stupid. It's dumb. And what about all these universities? What about their basketball teams, their football teams, and all that stuff?
One of the things that people were concerned about Hillary was that she was going to go to war with Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe she doesn't identify as a male. It's only the people who identify as a male, obviously. Okay, in the University of Massachusetts, likewise, has a men and masculinity center for students. Oh, I love this quote: "to interrogate and deconstruct traditional forms of masculinity."
Well, see, isn't that violent? Isn't that aggressive?
To interrogate? Yeah, I would think. I'm going to interrogate traditional forms of masculinity. They offer a support group for male students. Okay. Who, this is in quotes, who violated certain aspects of community standards.
Oh,
I don't know what. They peed standing up? What did they do? That consists of a series of structured activities and conversations designed to get participants to reflect upon their behavior and the ways in which adherence to masculine norms influence their choices. My gosh.
They pee standing up and they leave the seat up.
Oh, that's a no-no.
Yeah, especially when the woman falls in it.
Yeah. And then the male identifying himself as a male laughs.
Yeah. Not good. No bueno.
Oh, man. Let's see. Here's something interesting. This is by Campus Reform. So they said that Campus Reform reached out to each of the schools mentioned. And apparently, some of these schools, these things are paid for by the students and not, whatever. But it said Oregon State University informed Campus Reform that this will be the 5th year of its conference, which is organized and run by students and funded by student fees. Student fees? Can you imagine your kid goes there and part of the price you're paying for his education is to fund this nonsense?
Yeah, that would certainly make me upset.
And then it says Duke University, on the other hand, told Campus Reform that its Men Project exists. Now, check this out. Under the advisement and funding of the Duke Women's Center. Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Those who identify as women are now targeting those who identify as male.
Wow. You know what? Instead of a racial war, I think it looks more like a gender war.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, see, that's violent. So if you can get the men not to be violent, then the women can come and sneak up on them at night and do things. Let's take a commercial break, and then we'll be right back with more nonsense. How's that, Ms. KAPOW?
Sounds good.
All right, great.
don't know what all this fuss is about these pestilence. I think the scientists are doing a great job.
Clueless? In the dark?
I think the government's doing a good job.
Have no idea what is really going on? I have an app for that. KAPOW Radio Show app for iPhone and iPad. KAPOW Radio Show app for Android. Get the app. Get a clue.
Hey, Vinny, I love politicians. I think they've got my best interest in mind.
Get the app. Get a clue. FifthHookMedia.com.
We're back, and I'm going to be honest with you. That announcer that does our commercial about FifthHookMedia.com about the app, he sounds a little masculine to me.
Oh, very.
Yeah, I bet his name is Harry, and he has a beard. I don't like it. I'm trying to be sensitive, okay? I need a course. I need a course. Do you know? I was looking at our radio stats just here recently on Blog Talk Radio. You know, like who listens to us? And it's like virtually no one. But over 60% of the listening audience on Blog Talk Radio. I don't know about Spreaker, but Blog Talk, over 60%. I mean, high, like it's like 67% or something like that. Are female.
Huh.
Female.
Go figure that.
Yeah.
All right.
Female, yeah. And over 60% of the listeners come from the United States. But it goes down. The age group is like 45 to 54 is the biggest age group. Yeah, over 50% of that's the age group. And then the next one would be 55 to 64. And then we do have a few above that. And then we have some like in their 30s to 40s. Very few millennial age, but there are some. And then America, USA being the biggest slice of the pie, but then you have country. We even have some in something like almost 9% in Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But the thing is that's just Blog Talk Radio. But the thing is that a large percentage of the women, and I think they're listening because they enjoy the male masculine toxicity.
Yep.
That can't even talk, or they might enjoy the stupidity. Some of them, maybe they're laughing. Okay. President Trump needs to learn how to cry from Obama.
Oh, I read this story and it just curled my toes.
This goes right with masculine toxicity.
It does.
I can't even say it. Toxicity. This goes right with that. And it goes right with Obama's transgender release. Mm-hmm. You talk about that scripture you read, the lions in the den just waiting for the stupid poor mentality to walk by and whack them. It's amazing. This is from Yahoo News.
Daily Mail, isn't it?
What's that? I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, I got it from Yahoo News. Okay, let's see. This is from another country in Paris. Donald Trump has one big lesson to learn from outgoing U.S. President Barack Obozo. How can they call him Obozo? What's wrong with these fake news reporters? What's that thing he needs to learn, Ms. KAPOW? He needs to learn to be cool about crying.
That's right.
Yes. That's right. Here's what they say. Now, there's a British behavioral expert named, this is going to blow your mind, Judy James. It's a female. I know, Judy James. Judy. She's a British behavioral expert, okay?
Oh, for the love of
She's an expert, so we really can't doubt what she's saying because she's an expert. So Judy James says, quote, about Trump, if he could squeeze one tear out during his inauguration, people will turn around quite quickly their feelings toward him.
Really?
Look at Judy James is an expert in Britain. She's a behavioral expert.
Well, we also had Bonner that cried over everything.
Yeah.
And he was considered weak, and he was annoying. It was like every time he wanted to get out of something, he would cry.
He did.
Remember?
Yeah.
I
I didn't say anything like it. It's like, get rid
you
of this
gotta be
dude.
kidding me.
Yeah, get rid of this dude. He can't. I think a lot of that was alcohol induced.
But it was like, okay,
I know.
you cry over everything. Every time
Yeah.
there was some kind of a controversy or some kind of conflict,
Yeah.
his little lips would like quiver.
Yeah, and his eyes would go red.
I was like, come on.
I know. And I used to look at that and go, God, he's not even crying over something substantial like, the loss of cheese in your refrigerator.
Yes, I know.
Now, that's something to
I
cry
wouldn't
about.
even go there.
Well, I get a little toxic and I start getting violent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go to Walmart. Yeah, all right.
Give me cheese.
I smell some Munster. Let's see. She goes on, she's an expert, and she wrote a book called The Body Language Bible.
I know. I read that, and it's like, really?
Did you read the book, Body Language Bible, or just you read that she's the author of it?
No, I didn't read. No, yeah. I should make myself clear. No.
Yeah, I think I just was toxic towards you. I apologize. I'm going to go to a center and learn how to detoxify. I think there's whiskey and cheese involved in it.
Well, I'm going to interrogate you after this.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to interrogate myself. I'm going to kind of deconstruct and desectionalize my own whatever I am.
Yeah.
I'm feeling bad about myself.
You should, man.
So anyway, she's the author of the Body Language Bible, and she's an expert in behavioral stuff in Britain. So she's got to know what she's talking about. And here's what she says. Clearly, Trump, is going to go swanning out there with his alpha male feathers strutting. Wow. Is she involved with Duke University and all these other knuckleheads? Are we the only ones that see a problem here? He's going to go out there with his alpha male feather strutting. But if at the right moment he could squeeze out a tear, it would have an amazing effect on people.
Really? That is so stupid.
It is stupid.
Because to me, he comes out as confident. Yeah. I want him to come out confident, not like, some weakling, with tears in his eyes and his shoulders hunched and kind of like looking like, unsure of himself. I don't want that. No. I like him to come out there with, broad shoulders, his head, his standing,
yes,
and coming out there confident and sure of himself. That's what I want in a leader.
Yeah. And you know what? And the thing is what Judy here is missing is there's a huge difference between real crying and phony crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this Obozo guy, every time I seen him shed a tear, it was all phony. I mean, it was so contrived. He like turned around and put some moisture from a bottle on his like, honey,
onions.
I love you. Onions or whatever. He's smelling his own breath. I don't know what he was doing. Hey, his mouth's got to stink. Seriously, let's talk about that. So she goes on and she says, showing his emotions certainly worked for Obozo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's the deal. According to this article, the president has wept at least 10 times on camera since he took office. Most tellingly, when tears poured down his cheeks last year when he talked about the toll gun violence was taking on America. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
We had 26 people killed in his hometown, Chicago.
Yeah.
Last week. Mm-hmm. Gun violence. It's still in this country. I'm so sad. You talk about everything you read has such an agenda.
It does.
It's like, can we throw the kitchen sink in here? I mean, what other liberal agenda can we just throw into every article that's written? Mm-hmm. It's just amazing today that there's just absolutely no. That's why it's so fun to make fun of this stuff.
Yeah,
it really
is fake news.
Yeah, it's just so. And it just feels so good to dissect it and expose it for what it is. It's amazing. And then, Obozo here, he's going to retire in our old hometown, in Riverside County.
I know.
He's going to Palm Springs.
But I do remember there was an article way back when they were looking for homes, when he does retire. Yeah. And they were looking in Palm Springs. I thought, that is way too close to where we live.
Yeah. And then Palm Springs is a huge gay.
Yeah.
Huge homosexual deal.
Yeah, thanks to Sonny Bono.
Yeah, thanks to Sonny Bono, who actually, ruined that beautiful city.
He really did.
Let's see. Anyway, so...
It says here also that he wiped away another few tears earlier this month when paying tribute to his wife, Michelle.
Michael?
And his teenage daughters in a farewell speech in Chicago.
But only one was there. The other one was somewhere else.
Yeah.
Smoking crack somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't make it up. She wasn't there. Michael was there. Tears are one of the most powerful weapons politicians have in their arsenals, she insisted.
Really? How many other presidents have you seen?
Yeah, how about just making good decisions and being a leader?
Yeah.
She's a behavioral expert. Okay, I don't know why I get so toxic.
It's your anger. It's your anger.
I do. I need to really detoxify here.
It's the only way that you know how to express yourself.
It is. I only know violence. I only know violence. That's why I'm chewing this microphone right now. Violently, like a Rottweiler. She says for Trump, crying would be ideal. And it would allay the worries of a world, Ms. KAPOW, fretting about what his presidency will hold. We can see him cry a little bit. It's like, you know what? I'm not so much worried today. Now, some of the women might be worried that he's a sissy lala man. And they're not going to feel secure with a sissy lala guy. Right? She says, I think so many people are depending on Trump now that unmasking himself is quite a warm, well-meaning character with values that he has been hiding all this time.
Oh, good night. She's so annoying.
She says that tears, like Obama's tears, helped show his sincerity. It connected him with the public and undercut the reputation as an intellectual. She says this.
Yeah.
So
we want him to be stupid.
Yeah. In other words, yeah. We thought he was smart and intellectual. And we saw him crying. We realized, boy, he's a Nancy boy.
Doesn't say a whole lot about her, now does it?
No. We don't want anybody smart. We want him soft and
stupid, like Obama.
Yeah. Tears show empathy. Tears help to bring him down from the pedestal. He's a bit more of a new man. Ooh, that's a good statement. You can imagine him doing the shopping, whereas up to now the U.S. presidency has been an alpha male preserve, and it is again with Trump. You can imagine him doing the shopping. What does that have to do with leadership?
I know.
Oh, my. Where did these people come from?
I'd rather see a president out there that actually does what he said he was going to do.
Yes. Like not lie and do stuff rather than, I don't care if he shops or not. Unless he's shopping for nuclear devices so he could be violent. Obama's comfort with big emotions was also evident when he surprised his tearful Vice President Joe with the high. They both cried. I think Joe turned around a little bit and did a pretend crying.
Yeah, but there's no tears there.
Yeah, he got that medal. That means absolutely nothing. I mean, what are you going to do with this?
I know.
Okay. Have you got to the part yet where there's a crying specialist?
Yeah. Lauren Bilsma.
She's a crying specialist. Hey, do I need to repeat that?
Do it.
A crying specialist.
Yes. She's an assistant professor of the psychiatry of the University of Pittsburgh and said it was clear that Obama is a man that is comfortable expressing his emotions in public. In terms of character, we know that crying is associated with personality traits such as higher levels of empathy. Really?
A crying specialist assistant professor here in the good old USA. Wow. Do we need one of those? Do we really, seriously, do we need this?
Cry baby.
Is this something we need? Oh, wow. Despite his hard man image, Russian leader Vladimir Putin has also shed tears several times in public, mostly notably after winning back the presidency in 2012 despite street protests. Really? I think he was probably crying from laughing. Anyway, crying at the pain of others makes politicians particularly attractive, James added. How about laughing at the pain of others? That's not good. That's toxic. Okay, but psychologist Jean-Pierre Friedman, sounds like a dude, right? Insisted politicians well up more because they are afraid of losing power.
No, that sounds more like it.
So anyway, he says they cry more because they don't want to lose power. And there's a danger of faking it, obviously, and this and that. But this gal goes on and she just thinks that Trump would be much better if he can whip up a couple of tears and show the world that he's emotional. Okay, next. Anti-Trump protester sets himself on fire outside the Donald's D.C. hotel before putting himself out and surrendering to police. He put himself out.
Yeah, he's the pork rind.
He can't be serious. Any real protester, anybody who's serious about protesting and going to kill themselves, they would light themselves on fire, and they would just be a little puddle of human fat on the sidewalk. I mean, really. I mean, you're going to do something, you got to do it.
Yeah.
This guy's a phony. He's a phony.
Phony baloney.
I bet he had a fire retardant coat on, too.
Probably.
I bet he's a shield. I bet he's a shield.
That's right.
The man, he's from California. I find that hard to believe.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. He set himself on fire outside Trump International Hotel on Tuesday night. The staff inside the hotel laughed and then called police. They didn't say that, but I'm sure they did. He suffered non-life-threatening burns. How could you suffer non-life-threatening burns? You're not serious then. He should have had life-threatening burns if he was serious.
I think so.
He was taken to the hospital. The man said he was protesting against Trump, who he said, quote, was incapable of respecting the Constitution. How, when, why, where, some facts, some support.
This is part of the imagination, and this is the kind of man that these idiots want.
Yeah.
Stupid.
This is the stupid, the poverty of intelligence and spiritual wisdom walking by the lion's den, just like the scripture you wrote. This is it. This is stupid. This is him with the face. But if you're going to do something like this and set yourself on fire as a protest, have some facts. You know, if you say Trump was incapable of respecting the Constitution because of A, B, C, when, how, where, why, give me something.
Yeah.
Just don't make words up. Don't make words up. But this guy does.
They do now.
And apparently Trump respected him enough to not be there, number one, and respected his First Amendment right to, well,
set himself on fire.
Set himself on fire and freedom of speech. So there you have it. Plus, at the time, Trump's not even president. So I don't get it. But anyway, he's a protester. He set himself on fire. He's 45-year-old, so he knows better. He's not been identified. He said the act was in protest of Donald's looming inauguration. Witnesses said that he yelled Trump several times as flames ran up his back before laying down in the street.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? You're on fire. Trump! Maybe he wanted Donald to come out and
save me!
Throw some vodka on him or something. Yeah. He suffered non-life-threatening burns. See, that to me, that's a poser. How could you not be hurt? He was taken to the hospital, and yeah. Oh, and he was not arrested. Well, how could he be arrested? It was like freedom of speech, right? He didn't commit a crime. He didn't get a crime. Yeah, there's pictures of his burning back here. He says, I'm protesting the fact that we've elected somebody who's completely, by the way, incapable of respecting the Constitution of the United States.
Wow.
Completely incapable. Completely. He's from California. He suffered third-degree burns to 10% of his body.
Wow. He
used a lighter and accelerant to start the fire. The police were called at a hotel of a report of a person in distress. And they said it was not initially clear what the man was protesting when he set himself on fire. He set himself on fire and his flames ran up his back. He yelled Trump several times. Then he laid down on the street. He did the doggy roll and put himself out. Yeah. He was able to walk, so, he's a poser. Because like I said, anybody worth their moxie would have went through it. And anyway, that's about it. Now, my question here is these celebrities. These celebrities. Rosie O'Donnell. What's her Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
These celebrities, Meryl Streep. And all these celebrities that are doing these little videos, how come they can't take a page from this man's bravery, and they go out there and set themselves on fire. Now that, my friend, would be news. Mm-hmm. You know, can you imagine Lady Gaga just pours a cellar on herself and goes, and just goes up in flames. Cher, Meryl Streep with her little Golden Globe idol there. Mm-hmm. That'd be amazing. Martin Sheen. What other actors? I mean, there's dozens of actors we've seen on the... I don't like to watch it because then when I see that and then I want to watch Netflix, I go, oh, that guy's on Netflix. I'm not going to support that. I won't watch him. Yeah. So now I can't watch anything.
No.
I can't watch anything. You know? I got to watch the moon. And that's not even real, according to YouTube. No. It's a hollow satellite. That's what guys are saying. It's a hollow satellite. Nibiru's coming anyway. You can't see the moon when Nibiru comes. It's been coming for the last 10 years. Okay, Ms. KAPOW, are you ready for You Can't
Fix Stupid
music? Please. Okay, I got the music in the background of You Can't Fix Stupid. All right. In today's top Can't Fix Stupid headlines, under the Telegraph, under the technology section, it reads, Tesla driver stranded in the desert after smartphone app failure. Ooh. And this happened right here in our own backyard in Las Vegas. Not that there's anybody stupid in Las Vegas. I'm not saying. But I think there may be. Mm-hmm. A Tesla driver was stranded in Red Rock Canyon near Las Vegas after the car's keyless control app suddenly stopped working. Uh-oh. So they're blaming the app, but it's not the app. It's stupid. It's stupid who did it. The app didn't stop working. That's not true. That's fake news. This guy was interested in testing his cool Tesla car. See, because you got to be a hipster to have a Tesla. You got to be a cool hipster guy.
That's right.
And so a cool hipster guy living in Las Vegas, you know, rolling the dice. He's cool. He was interested in testing a feature that lets Tesla owners like himself unlock and power their car using their smartphone.
Yay.
Smartphone dumb people, right?
Yeah.
But, hey, who doesn't want to drive their car using your smartphone? Who? Every time I go out to my car, I think, man, if I only had an app to start this thing, life would be better.
Exactly.
It would be.
Yeah.
It just would be. But I can't afford a Tesla. I'm not a hipster. I can't afford a Tesla. I'm too angry. But Ryan Nigri, that's his real name, Ryan Nigri, decided to leave his keys at home when he went for a drive around the canyon yesterday. I'm going to leave my keys at home because I got a smartphone and I'm cool and I'm hip.
I'm just testing this, too.
Yeah. I bet you anything Ryan Nigri has a man bun.
Yeah.
I would guarantee it. He's got to have a man bun.
Obviously.
And I bet he wears Birkenstocks. Birkenstocks. And he's originally from California. Okay. So the keyless smartphone feature, which is available through Tesla's iPhone and Android apps. How exciting. It lets users remotely monitor and control their Tesla Model S without their key. Who doesn't want to do that? One of the main features of the app is the ability to unlock and drive Model S without your key. Right? Yeah, you want to be on your smartphone all the time. And you want to be able to be able to drive your car on your smartphone. Now, Ryan Nigri was able to do just this. And he was testing it. But only to begin with. Here's what happened. After getting out of the vehicle to adjust something, when he was 6 miles from home, he found himself locked out of the car, unable to get back in, let alone to start it. Here's what he said, quote, 6 miles down the road, we decided to turn back. But before that, had to adjust Mosey and Millie's car bed. I think those are dogs. Okay. That were in the car. I know. So you're starting to get upset. Like, you idiot, your dogs are locked in the car now. Yeah. So before turning back, he had to adjust the dogs' beds, Mosey and Millie. Maybe they're kids. I don't know. So I exited the vehicle. He said, bad idea. Uh-oh. And he said this on Instagram. So he was still able to use all his smart apps. You know, and he was able to, like, be on Facebook and Instagram, and he was able to use Twitter. In fact, here's a picture of Ryan Nigri right here. Well, you can't see my screen. On the top of his Instagram thing, and I don't see a man bun unless it's behind his head. But he does have cool shades.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have a man bun.
No, but he does have cool vampire shades. Anyway, he said, quote on Instagram, need to restart the car now, but with no cell service, my phone can't connect to the car to unlock it. Well, I don't know how he's Instagramming without that. But anyway, so there's a picture of his Tesla in the middle of the Nevada desert. Yeah. So here's what happened. And then Negri, he didn't know before leaving the house. Now, he didn't know. This is why you can't fix stupid. He did not know that before leaving the house without his keys was that the feature requires the owner's phone to have a signal. You can't fix stupid. Even if you can afford a Tesla, you can't fix stupid. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Money has nothing to do with common sense. Mm-mm. Intelligence doesn't have anything to do with common sense. There are 6-year-old children out there that would say, Mommy, you can't make a phone call because you don't have a signal.
That's right.
But not Ryan.
Mm-mm.
Ryan didn't care. Without a signal, it is unable to connect the Tesla servers to unlock or start the car. What a crazy concept.
I know.
While wireless key technology is fairly common, smartphone car control is still a fairly new concept. Negri said he should have taken his keys, right? He should have taken his keys as a precaution, but guess what he also did? He criticized Tesla for not having a contingency plan in such cases. It's Tesla's fault.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's blame the others.
So what are you supposed to do? Crawl under the car, find the hidden red button that says unlock
that
and
everyone
start.
else could probably use and drive off with your car.
Exactly. What does he want? Biometrics? Or something? You look at the bumper, you stick your face on the bumper and it reads your eyeballs. I mean, are you serious?
It's about as stupid as people with their key fobs.
Yeah.
You know, because they have their outside box.
Yes.
They can get in, punch a number in. So they leave their keys in the car. It's a true story.
Yep.
The gal did that. Some guy came with a bat or whatever, broke the window, sat in the car, just turned on the button.
Hit the start button, drove off.
Yeah.
Because you can't, it's too much trouble to carry your smart key with you.
Yeah.
So you want to leave it in the car and just lock it using the, except the keypad on the door. Mm-hmm. Ooh. All right. So anyway, he blames Tesla for not having a contingency plan. So to save the family, now here's a guy. I'm going to say I'm making fun of Ryan Negri because he's stupid, right? Can't fix stupid. But here's a guy who did, in fact, go to those masculine classes to get rid of his masculine toxicity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I'll tell you why. To save the family from being stranded in the desert all night.
That's great.
Right? Mm-hmm. So he had his dogs or something else with him in the car, part of his family, and he had his wife with him. So to save them from being stranded in the desert all night because he locked himself out of the car, Ryan Negri's wife, had to run 2 miles to find a signal and call a friend to bring the key fob.
That's rich. That is rich.
Because Ryan was not masculine anymore. He was out playing with his little toy like he should, like a little girl playing with her Easy Bake oven, but he's playing with his little Easy Bake Tesla car with no keys. But in order to save his family, his wife ran 2 miles to get a cell phone signal. I lie not. It's right here in the article. I lie not. Had they driven further into the canyon when the problem arose, it could have been more difficult for them to get home.
Yeah, because she'd have to
run 10
further.
miles.
Yeah.
So as a true man that he is, a true man that Ryan is, he said, honey, you need to run and get a signal because I'm going to stay here with Molly and Mixie.
Wow. That's the face of a man.
That's manhood right there. That's the future they're talking about when they're reconstructing future manhood. This is what it looks like.
Yep.
You get stuck in the middle of the desert in your Tesla because your smartphone can't get a signal. You send that macho woman of yours to go get it while you stay with the dogs.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, man, because Well, let's just get out of here for no reason.
All right.
We're out of stories.
Ciao, babies.